everyone. We are live. We're back with Tales from the Tavern. You are absolutely on time, Reflux Capacitor. Welcome to the GamerMomLuna channel. Believe it or not, I've actually been a Twitch streamer for about 2 years. So this channel has been around for a while, and now we're finally bringing Tales from the Tavern home. So yes, you all got to see that was Daisy's butt. So congratulations. That was a nice warm welcome to the channel. Exclamation point kitty. If you see a kitty on stream, we'll bring up my kitty emote. Yeah, so for those of you that are brand new to Tales from the Tavern, here's a little bit about how this works. Tales from the Tavern is a roundtable conversation where you guys ask all the questions, and that really drives the course of the conversation. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask our guests, feel free to drop them in chat, and I have a moderator that will feed them to us so that we can make sure that we don't miss any. And I also have something that we carried over from our previous channel. We still have the Ask My Question Next. For 1,000 channel points, you can have your question bumped up to the top of the queue, which is very exciting. So you can use that, not you individually, you as a group can use that up to 3 times a night. The other thing that we do is that we will have everybody go around, introduce themselves, tell us a little about who they are, what they do, where you can find them on the internet, and then, you know, if you have any questions for individuals or for the whole group, feel free to drop those in chat. So with that said, I am going to, is treat for kitties for all the kitties? I don't know. Guests who have kitties, does that apply to your kitties as well, or only mine? All right, so that's only for my kitties, who right now are both out of the room or asleep, but it's there if we happen to need it. So, oh yeah, and there we go. And so we're gonna go around and have everybody introduce themselves. Bees, we're gonna start with you, and we'll work our way around the group. So go ahead, Bees, tell us a little about yourself.
Pass.
Well, actually, that's probably good because Beezus was too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's taken me twice to get it in here.
Yeah, see? That's what she said. So, hello, everyone. Big B's here. I am a variety streamer, voice actor, TTRPG enthusiast, which just sounds funny because I mean fancy because I love to just play all the games. Hopefully soon speedrunner of Mega Man X and maybe something else. And just all around hype man. As you see from that really long message there, I am doing quite a bit of stuff, and that's like all the things I'm in right now that isn't part of my channel. So I also stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday on my channel 12 to 2 EST. Yeah, so quite a bit of stuff. Also, let me get a little bit of water here.
His intro's that long, folks.
It's worth it.
It just keeps going and going.
Apache! All right. So there we go. And I think that's pretty much it with me. I've been playing TTRPGs for a while now. I started with D&D 4E and the Army, and once I stumbled upon Twitch, it just went from there. And yeah, you'll see me in random things all the time because I'm always just like creeping up behind people while they're alone in their room working on stuff. Like, hey, you need some help with that? Hey, you need somebody on that? Hey, can I join your game? Hey, you want somebody? So yeah, you know, you'll see me here and there.
Oh, right. Well, it's sort of a tradition to have Bees here on a season premiere, so I'm super glad it worked out for schedules to have you come back and join me yet again. And next we're going to go to Cyclone Jack, who I've been RPing with off and on for like 2 years now.
How's it going, folks? My name is Cyclone Jack, or just Jack. I'm a 15-year first responder veteran. served as a firefighter medic for a very long time. I'm a competitive mech pilot. I'm a GTA RP character of many different colors and genres. I'm also a voice actor and a TTRPG actor on Twitch and on various channels. You can find me all over the place. I'm a full-time streamer, and unlike the wonderful bees above me, I'm not a hype man. I am every guy's guy or everybody's friend. You could find me hanging out, chilling, inviting you to have a cup of coffee or grabbing a beer or a drink and just chilling and shooting the shit while we either RP or blow up some mechs or play some other random horror zombie-inspired games with my friends like Wolfie or Luna or any other random cast on my channel.
Do not apologize for not being a hype man. I am hyping up for all of us, all right?
That is
Gotcha.
true. That is absolutely true. Well, Jack, I'm glad that you're back again. We've been trying to have you on for a little while, so I'm glad it worked out to have you come back.
It's good to be back.
I know. I miss
Definitely
you.
good to be back. And on the season premiere here, nonetheless.
I know.
I
Right?
actually have something in common with Beast, by the way. Every premiere of Tales of the Tavern on every channel, I've been a part of almost. I think. Yeah.
I think so. I'll have to.
Yeah.
I would have to double check, but I know you've been on it on every channel. So
Well, I mean, at the very least, there's that, right?
yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought you were talking about the penile wart thing. I thought we had a. Never mind. I'm sorry. Keep going.
We don't talk about that on stream, Bees. Come on, man.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to make sure we were on the same page.
Oh my goodness. You
We
guys
have
should
to
have
talk about these things at some point, Jack.
You guys should have seen us in the green room before stream. It was bad.
Oh, I think they're going to get it in the stream, so.
Mm.
No, I'm on my best behavior.
All right, we're gonna go to Matt next.
Hi, I'm Matt at Dungeon Matter on Twitter. I am a D&D and TTRPG all-around enthusiast. I love all sorts of fantasy, sci-fi fiction, and weaving narrative tales across the board. I'm a forever DM, and I make a lot of D&D and TTRPG content. You'll have to check out some of my stuff coming up soon. You might see some of my stuff as like the Pocket Golem and House Slime, free familiars that you can use in your own games. And I'm generally really excited to be here, okay? I'm not crying, you're crying.
Those damn onion slicing. Onion slicing.
Onion slicing.
Onion slicing.
Onion slicing.
Oh my gosh.
We all
That's
see
it,
where
I
this
quit.
stream is going.
Stream's over. Oh god.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Onion
I ordered this
slicing.
burger without onions, okay?
I'll take her onions. I'll take the onions. Fine.
Never. Lord Victor, I too slice onions.
I'm trying to figure out if, we should be offended by this or just kind of go with it.
No, those are actually what onions are. They're Dijon onions.
okay.
There you go.
We're
They've
good
just
then.
been marinated in Dijon
That's exactly
forever.
it. So you actually can slice Dijon onions. So, onion slicing ninjas are back.
Dungeons and Dragons. Oh my god.
Dijon-
Oh my
Onions.
gosh. Okay. Let me get myself back under control, and we are going to go over to Tommy next.
Hi, thank you so much. My name's Tommy. This is my first time being on the show, meeting everybody here. So I appreciate you, Luna, for having me on, inviting me on, and everybody else for sharing your time with me this evening. I guess my primary purpose is to make potential actualized ability, if that makes sense. One of my driving mottos is why not? Because why not, right? If you want to do some shit, do some shit. I've never played TTRPGs or D&D or anything till like a year and 6-7 months ago, something like that, when I started having to work from home. So I needed a new hobby, and I got into D&D. I got into miniature painting. That's probably what I'm most known for on Twitter, at Matt333. If you go to mattproductions.com, miniature painting and battle maps are what I mainly create. But again, I really like helping myself and other people manifest what that potential is that they're trying to make it something real. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. And Tommy's painting me a mini, and I am beside myself excited.
Wait. I gotta ask the important question: is it Bricks?
No, look at that sucker.
It was a gasp.
It's a work
Oh
in
my God.
progress still.
It's
Nice.
a gem dragon.
Maybe
I'm
about halfway
so
through.
pumped.
Ooh, what kind of gem?
That's a surprise. I gave him
I-
full reign over the colors and everything. I just said my favorite color is purple, and you can do the rest.
Okay.
So that's the primary color, yeah, gem purple. But anybody who's ever seen my paints, I have a really weird style. It's really unorthodox. I don't recommend it to any miniature painters that are watching unless you really don't care, because you will fuck up at times. But roll with it, because a lot of the beauty that people tell me that I've created, in my opinion, is because I like screwed up what I was really trying to do. But instead of saying like, "Oh man, this is garbage," and throwing it away, I ran with it and I picked that fumble up, and I try to make it back into the end zone. The play is never over until you decide it's over. So that's my painting style: is keep throwing shit at the mini until it eventually looks good, because eventually it will.
Awesome. I'm so pumped. I can't wait. As most everybody knows, dragons are kind of my jam. So, yeah, I caught a tweet the other day, and Tommy was like, "I'm going crazy. I don't have a commission to paint." And I'm like, "You do now." Well, thank you for coming on and hanging out with us tonight. I'm really excited to get to chat with you a little bit more. Wolfie.
Well, all I can say is surrounded by you young bucks. I don't even know how to take this. I started tabletop gaming 30 years ago, back in 1991.
It was 92 and you know it.
Hey, how did you know?
That was
Were you
there. You're damn right.
Damn it, is that
1891.
you, Charlie?
You get out of here, Steve. Nobody's talking to you.
All right, fine.
Oh.
Anyway, about it. No, seriously, I did actually start gaming like 30 years ago. I started with D&D. Not advanced, not 2E, D&D. Yeah, that was a thing back then. I also started playing BattleTech when it first released and had a wall of miniatures. So, that's me. Oh, I'm also here, and I'm going to be doing a thing. If you guys look in chat, there's someone in there by the name of Mara, and she's actually going to be getting into her very first campaign ever later on this year as I start up a campaign for Aether and Steamworks.
I'm so excited. And Wolfsblood, how will we be able to take
How
in
would that
on-
be for-
how will we be
you
able
listen?
to take in that content? How will it be released?
We will be releasing that as a podcast, and that will be released in conjunction with GamerMomLuna.
Yeah, we're super excited. It's going to be really, really fun. If you are not familiar with the Aether and Steamworks system, I highly recommend it. It was written by a good friend of mine, Ty Burris, who is currently working on yet another iteration of it. And it's, if you like magic and steampunk and exploding pencil trees and what else? Spaceships that don't hold together and goblins, then yeah, you're in the right place. So
Goblins that change colors when you emotionally distress them.
yeah. Yeah. It's really, really a lot of fun. I highly suggest you look it up. Bees is a avid player of that system too. So
Love it.
so
My
good.
favorite system.
Yeah.
Period.
So good. So much fun. So definitely check them out. That's on the Roll for Chaos channel, which is RF Chaos here on Twitch. They play that a couple times a week. There's a few games that they have running, so definitely give them a check out. Shout out, speaking of Ty Burris, shout out to Ty for my artwork. Ty has completely, well, not completely, but has helped revamp the overlay for this channel. He helped me with getting my intro video updated for this channel and all kinds of fun stuff. So big shout out to him. Throw all kinds of love and all that good stuff his way if you can. So all right, so reminder for people that joined us between the time we went live and now, our chat, our entire conversation is driven by chat. We take all of our questions from you guys, so you guys really drive the conversation. So I will start us off with a question, but if you have anything that you would like to ask any of our panelists, all of our panelists, maybe only like 3 of our panelists, but all of us are going to answer anyway, go ahead and just drop those into chat, and I will have a moderator that feeds those questions to me, so we make sure that we can see them. So I'm going to start off with I'm going to like lob this one to you because you guys almost have all heard this question before. When you're playing at an actual table with real dice, do your dice have to match?
No.
No.
That's it. All of you
Honestly.
get out.
Yep.
Why?
I'm gonna say.
I'm not gonna
Okay.
stick. I'm not
Oh
gonna
my gosh.
stick with the D20 that's been throwing ones all night.
Yep.
I will grab another one and sub him in real quick. Throw that one
Yeah.
halfway across the world, and just I'd rather get all high numbers than have a pretty set of dice.
Oh, I just swap out the whole set.
If you don't
I do
mind,
the-
I would
I-
like to show you my stack.
I do the same thing,
my
Luna.
gosh.
Like personally, my dice, I literally have them organized in a pouch for like player dice. So like I have like a big sack that I carry around with me, and
I'm sure you do.
and it's got like 3
That
play
gross.
sets of dice plus extra D6 that are like one specific style, right? So like this big fuzzy sack, I'll drop it on the table before we start our
Oh my
game.
god, you guys are all
And
fired.
it's like we're here. And I'll have like 3 different styles, and then I'll have like I don't know if any of y'all are old enough, maybe Wolfie. But you remember the 6-sided dice that like bone dice that look like they were carved out of bone?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, I actually had a custom set made for me out of actual bone.
Who's
So-
bones?
I don't know. I
that-
got it off of a
His
site
first
when I
DM's
was like,
bone.
I think I was like, yeah, those. There you go, Matt. So I was like 17 or 18, and I had those in plastic, and my buddy's dog ate them, and his wife at the time was like, Jack, I'm really, really sorry, and I was like, I don't know where the fuck to get them. Like, I don't know how to replace them, because this was before, the internet got like massive, right? So they found a guy at a Ren fair or like at a festival that was willing to make custom dice, and he made those 6-sided dice style bone dice out of actual bone, but it didn't obviously look as clean or neat as those. But like, yeah, there you go. Like I got like 7 or 8 of those, and then like 3 or 4 sets of different colors and styles, and all in my big fuzzy sack will I just drop on the table when I first show up to game. And if one set doesn't work because like random dice are like rolling like crap, those dice go back in the sack and another set comes out. We're good to
Yeah.
go.
That's almost like me, except not.
Are you a diehard? Are you diehard like ride or die for your set for the game?
Oh no, no. I shouldn't say it that way. Usually I have a set that is specific to a character. And then like I have all my other sets. Like I'll have a few that I'll bring with me to a game because, if I'm rolling really badly, I have to swap out the whole set because I am my dice need to match person. But I'm not like a throw them all together in one bag. Like I have one set in this, and then I have another set in here, and then I have another set in here. And this is what my storage will be shortly. I'm in the process of converting a lot of my storage. Spice jars.
Nice.
And,
So-
Have you,
Yeah.
and,
have you guys seen Boondock Saints where they just keep pulling out the guns
Yeah.
Yep.
and they just keep dropping them in
Oh,
the street?
wait.
That's Luna with dice.
Well, wait, there's more. I have 2 more sets right here.
Yeah, there you go.
No, it was funny. I counted one day. I think I counted something like 12 sets, like either in or on top of my desk. And then that doesn't even count like the ones that are in a bag over there hanging on the door. So, yeah. I might have a
so
problem.
So when Luna comes to your house in one of those Matrix trench coats, you know why now.
Yes.
Yeah, there you
Because
go.
she's just
It's either
trapped,
she wants
just
to play
rips it
some
open
Yu-Gi-Oh!
and it just dies.
If,
Yeah.
if Luna comes to your house in a long black trench coat, you're going to ask a lot of questions, and then you're going to
That's-
just find out whatever
No,
happens.
no, you don't.
Just go
That's
with
the
it.
first thing is
Go
you
with it.
don't ask questions.
No,
You
you're
just
gonna have
accept
a lot
it
of
for what it
questions.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, you might have them, just don't ask them.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. If Luna shows up to my house in a long leather trench coat, I'm expecting one of two things. She's either gonna start playing the Yu-Gi-Oh theme and go, "Let's duel," or we're playing D&D. Like, either way, it's gonna be a good time, right?
If I show up at somebody's house in a long leather trench coat, it's probably because I'm dressed up as Trinity from The Matrix.
Yeah, there you go. I
I
have
just assumed you got an early viewing for The Matrix and you came to pick me up. That's my.
Yeah.
That's totally what it is.
sounds right. She's an extra. She's just altered Trinity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I for dice, I always I tend to try to stick with my most prized set, which is a really beautiful set of Labradorite, which
Ooh.
changes, like it's gray all the time with gold like script on it,
Mhm.
but then in like certain lighting and in like sunlight, it'll look translucent blue and green, which is wonderful and beautiful. But then I try to stick with that set, but then I always have this loner D20, which my players know I've named Stinger, because it's like a Stinger missile. It rolls natural 20s like nobody's business, and I refuse to put it in salt water because I don't clean my dice. I let them get gross. I'm just gonna let them live.
So
with all
to
of
that
the,
point, that was actually the second question that came in was from Souls Rolls was when was the last time you washed your dice?
Ooh,
never. I refuse.
I got
I've never
this one.
washed my dice.
Wow.
So I started out as a solid nerd, much like Wolfie. Even though I'm a little younger than him, I started playing in, like the early '90s, and I started playing in chainmail. And I kind of got into it, and I kept playing. I took a bit of a break for a while, and then there was a card shop that opened up not far from where I used to work at a chemical plant, and they were doing this like meet.com thing, and they had never hosted D&D before and barely knew what it was, and the shop owners didn't know what they were doing. They held an open call for anyone that wanted to come in and play. And I had met them randomly because of Magic the Gathering. So I show up one night to go play some Magic with a couple Magic decks, and there are literally 30 nerds in this tiny, cramped comic shop looking to play D&D with one DM. Fast forward, I met a bunch of wonderful people, and I started traveling around the U.S. to cons. Back when Wizards of the Coast had the living campaigns. So the last time I cleaned my dice, to take this long story even shorter, was NeonCon when I went to Vegas, and I had a rather uncouth individual who kept borrowing my dice to use them.
Ooh.
Without asking.
No.
And he would just reach over and grab like a handful or like random dice. I'm not a small individual. And after about the second or third time he did this, I slowly got up from my table, and my friends who were traveling with me at the time slowly turned their heads to look at me as I stood up, and I turned to look at him, and I called him a plethora of unkind and unnice words and told him that if he touched my dice again, that he was going to find himself unceremoniously found in a garbage receptacle.
Yep.
That was the
It's a
last time I
vicious mockery.
Yeah, that was the last time I washed my dice. Is when I came home from said trip, and I felt like my dice felt forever unclean. And they were washed promptly. And pro tip for all of you, gently coax them in maybe a glass or a plastic cup filled with warm water and a drop or two of Dawn dish soap, and you're good to go.
Here's the thing: is like sumo wrestlers do not wash their attire because it has all of their grit and their sweat and their luck embedded in it. It's like a really serious thing. It's the same thing with dice. You got all your juju in there: the good, the bad, the pain, the struggle, the dead characters, the best moments, all of it in those dice. If they betray you, they remember. And if you wash them, you're forgiving them of their sins. Don't you dare do that. Hold them accountable. Destroy them if you have to, but don't wash them.
I would never, ever consider filling the 1 on my D20 with Cheeto dust.
Ooh. Hot Cheetos?
Anything that'll just unbalance the die and make sure it rolls 20s more often.
Like, and that was the problem too. Like, not only did they just feel unclean, they actually were unclean. Like, they were a little more greasy, and they actually had like little flecks of food on them. I couldn't.
If I had like holy water, it's a little different because it's like I've blessed my dice now. It only goes up. I don't know. It's tricky. You wash them, you're resetting them.
Yeah, no, man. Like I got home that night I didn't get home. I got back to my hotel room that night, and I straight up looked at my dice and I chose violence, and I almost cried a little bit, and I was like, "You guys have done so many heroic things for me, but I just can't." And it was like a crying game like scene right there for a moment, and I got like really angry and like just kind of like go through like all the emotions of the spectrum, just like rage and grief and sadness, and all meanwhile I'm sitting, a very large grown man in a hotel bathroom washing my dice in my furry bag in a sink. Well,
yeah. Do you guys think it's like a violation for somebody to mess your dice unless they're like really intimately close with you, and then it's a little more tolerable? Because if some stranger started grabbing my dice, I'd flip out. That's like somebody getting in your car and just turning it on. Like, what are you doing? Stop. Get out.
I'm okay with someone using my dice if they ask first, because then I'll give them a set that I'm not using.
Listen, we're going to talk about consent always matters in everything. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
Applies to dice as well.
If I don't know you, you're not fiddling with my dice.
Right, yeah.
I just don't let anybody walk up and start fiddling with my dice. I mean,
so people who are familiar with the stream have heard me talk about the bad DM. That's a trademark now. It's capital T, capital B, capital DM. And this guy he's the friend who will just like reach across the table and like, he needs multiple D6s for something, and he'll just like reach across the table and start taking D6s. And I'll never forget one time he reaches across the table to take one of my D6s, and I grabbed his arm so fast, and I was like, "No, you're not touching my dice unless I say so." I said, "Just roll your D6 multiple times. We'll wait."
Yeah.
Did you keep the arm?
I mean, I thought about it, but he was sitting across the table, so...
Would have just got stuff everywhere.
Yeah, it would have just been messy.
I was at a table where somebody tried to do the same thing, except we were eating at the same time. It was that time of the night. And somebody reached over to grab someone else's dice. They forgot they were holding a fork as they went to stop the hand.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yep, got forked. Right there.
Riposte.
They got the point across, didn't they?
They did. It was about time.
Stick a fork in it. You're done.
Yeah.
This is always fascinating to me because, like, I've never experienced any of these experiences in person. Like, I have multiple dice sets. I'm a DM in real life. That's how I started playing. But it's, like, all my own family. So I've never played with anybody outside of my own family or, like, close friends, like, best friends. And because I bought, like, on eBay this big pack with, like, 8 different sets of dice with their own individual bags and shit, like, I keep them all just in a shoebox. I give everybody their own bag. I leave an extra set out on the table for if they need any extra dice as like a little community pot. And then I have my extras. So like, I've never experienced somebody using my dice, but I feel like I'm petty enough that like I would be really offended if somebody just didn't ask and grabbed my dice and chucked them on the table.
I feel like
I've never experienced it.
Yeah, I feel like it's really like, I don't know, I think for most TTRPG players, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like for most TTRPG players, that's a pretty significant, like, violation. Like,
yeah,
Right. Well, that's the thing. That's like what he was talking about with his family. They're intimate, you know? Intimacy grants certain permissions. No, Bees, you're diehard?
You reach for my dice, and it's how can I put it? It's like it's a trial. The gods will test you. Because the moment you reach for my dice, I'm not going to go for your hand. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm hitting you as hard as I can in the throat with a chop. So if you can play without breathing, you have earned the right to use those dice. So
it's like taking like if you can take the coin from my hand.
Exactly. And I'll just hold it there, and they'll be like, "Thanks." And as soon as they reach, I'll wham right in the throat. I'm gonna. You
Now
still
you
need
know.
dice? Sorry, I can't hear you. What was that?
I would
Yeah.
100% be with you. And I didn't
And-
say judo chop during it, but like two
Yeah.
of my party is my grandpa and my aunt. Like I can't be chopping my grandpa in the throat.
was-
I can't do it.
You.
Oh yeah,
no,
you can.
You
His life
don't
insurance
want
is paid
to.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't
right?
want to. You can. You just
He's
don't
a higher
want
level
to.
than you.
Yeah.
He's a higher level. It's fine.
Yeah.
Remember, two
You are
things.
right.
One, bees woke up and chose violence, and two, never talk to the XP.
One, Bees only wakes up and chooses violence every
No.
day.
Violence wakes up and chooses bees.
Yeah, that's what it is. So wait, hold on. So two things. One about Luna. I'm not a monster. All right. I have my dice organized too. All right. They are in here organized by dice. So all dice go in this bag, and that's how I organize it.
Bees has the philosophy everything in the world is either dice or not dice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Not
there you go.
dice don't go in the bag.
Right.
Yeah.
Dice go in the bag.
If I can push you
Exactly.
down a hill and you roll, you dice.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it is.
And then also about the cleaning, I was today years old when I learned people clean their dice.
Right,
So
me
that's
too.
my answer. Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's like
You give
shaving Hobbit.
all the mojo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, I understand why you guys are like, yeah, I washed my dice because, somebody's like, this is good ass Cheeto. Hey, let me get your dice. No, you get the fuck back. No.
Back
Well, yeah,
up.
nobody touches my dice. Like, my kids come up and they're like, ooh, dice. And I'm like, well, gotta send you to Jesus. And I'm
Like, well, it's like, oh wait, 8 years old? We had a good run.
yeah.
You lasted longer than the others.
Man,
Like, they
Oh,
reach for
God.
my dice. They reach for my dice, and I just look up and I'm like, Lord, is it time already? Do you really need them? All right, I do what you want. I'm sending them to you now.
Oh my
First
God.
class.
Oh my god.
Might be like-
Amazing. Amazing.
Just make
I might
sure
be thrilled.
it's more than halfway through the year, so you still get the child tax credit.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're either starting over with the dice or starting over with a new kid. I mean, pick your poison.
Well,
Either way, it's gonna be a fun time, right?
kid. All I know is kids come and go, but dice are forever.
There you go.
I feel
My
weird
dice
having
aren't gonna
this
go
run
off
on
to
a
college.
channel called GamerMomLuna.
I'm just saying, my
Yeah.
dice ain't gonna go to college. They're not gonna leave me. They're not gonna, never call on the weekends or anything.
They're not going
They
to ask
will
you
always
to
be
never
show
ask
right
for
next
money.
when you're 38.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I don't gotta worry about the dice going in the fridge needing the last bit of ice cream.
Yep.
all right. Lord Richter had a great question. So he would like to know, the question was, give me the name of your first brick and mortar store.
Oh, I got it.
Like
Dude,
one
you
that we're
understand
creating,
that,
or
like-
the first one we ever went to.
I'm
Who's going?
assuming the first one you ever went to.
Okay.
Oof.
Mine is it's a local place here in South Bend, Indiana called the Griffin, and it is actually it has the record in the U.S. for being the longest continuously open gaming store in America.
Oh, wow.
And it's really small. It opened in like the early 70s or something. It's real small. It's real quaint, but it's a great place. Good little environment, and they've been around for a long time.
I'm in Indianapolis. You said South Bend?
What up?
I need to go up north and check out this shop, apparently.
Don't look me up. Don't do it. Not gonna fight. No, I'm just joking. No, come on up. You'll. It's a really cool shop. It's a 2-story building in downtown South Bend. And in the basement they sell like old used books. They sell like old war paraphernalia as well. Like you can find like old Russian infantry boots from like 150 years ago. It's weird, but they have all sorts of TTRPG and board game stuff all over the walls. The people are really nice, and sometimes they have like discount sales where you can come up to the counter and either choose 10% off, or you can roll dice to see what percentage you get off, and it might be higher. But you have to stick with whatever you get. They're a pretty cool place.
That's
So I'm gonna give away my age a little bit. My first 3 really, because like none of them really I got a really solid start on until the third one. There was a little shop in a mall called the Game Room, and they sold like all sorts of like bar furniture and stuff like that. And they had like a small couple shelves with like D&D books and like RPG books, and I got my first kind of like taste of flavor there. But I found a few months later that Wizards of the Coast actually opened up a Wizard store in that mall too, and that was where I first learned about D&D and watched a tabletop session being played. Later on, I met a group of friends that we got pretty tight, and it's actually kind of funny too because it was in Midtown Manhattan, a stone's throw away from the World Trade Center. The place was called Neutral Grounds, and they've since closed because of a myriad of things, including the disaster. But it was, you walk in off the floor, and it was this like unassuming door, and it had no advertisements, no hours posted, no nothing. You had to be a gamer, and you had to know about the place, because it was this glass door with like tint on it, and this like dark, like almost like purposely like rusted, worn, battle-worn look, like an old like shield almost, with a single glyph in the middle in like wood brown. And you'd open the door and you'd walk up these steps in this corridor, and it would look like this dingiest, grossest like New York City hallway you've ever been in. And then you round this corner and open this like door that you could barely fit through the doorway, and it was this like massive like loft that reminded you of like if anybody has seen The Crow, the big like loft apartments that are just like massive sprawling like areas, and there was a massive glass counter and like tons of shelves, and then behind all this there was a section of like 12 massive card tables of people playing like Warhammer and like D&D and all sorts of other TTRPGs, and it was this like hidden diamond in the rough in the middle of like Midtown Manhattan, and it was the coolest thing I ever stumbled upon, like ever. And that was my first, where I first started playing like RPGs and stuff, and it was just like, it's one of those things I'll never forget. The place was like amazing. It was iconic in New York.
Cool, very cool.
My very first
I'm
one
sure when I
was
was younger, I've been to some, but like with a purpose, since I've been in this like gaming sphere or whatever, like Game Time up in Castleton, that's probably the first brick and mortar store I went to. That was for Marvel Legendary, though. I love that game. If anybody plays card games, Legendary Marvel, I highly recommend it.
It's fun.
Oh, I love that game. I got like almost all the sets.
I've never been to one,
Never been to what?
like a brick and mortar, to play
Bees,
anything.
where you live?
Orlando.
You have no excuse. You have shame. Shame.
Yeah, I do have excuse.
No.
Nasty people in COVID. Yeah.
You've been playing games for a long time.
People been nasty for a long time.
I'm not going to argue that. That might be true.
Yeah. No, and
he
I
lives in
moved up
Orlando.
here.
I've got family in Orlando. I understand.
Yeah, I moved up here, and then shortly after, like I was working all the time, and when I finally started to get time to go places, then it was like, hey, guess what? COVID. And I'm like, oh no, everything got shut down. Damn. And
What,
so then it was,
there used to be a tabletop store in Oviedo Marketplace down there. I got family in Orlando. So.
There's one in the Oviedo Mall.
With all the
I
chickens.
can't remember the name of it. There's it's I know that the branding is in red and black, and I knew the guy that owned it, but I can't remember the name of it right now. But yeah, there was one there, and I was like, ooh, I'll check this out, and never did. So the only time I have ever played D&D in a public setting was at the first con I went to. That was it.
Oh, snap.
Other than that, it's been at like people's houses or online.
Okay. That's fair.
So yeah, I don't have that experience.
my first time was at Game Shack, and really sounds like what it was. It was a storefront in a strip mall, and right next door to a massage parlor. And yeah. And but the front part of the store was maybe like 15 feet deep, maybe like 20 feet long, and just stacked, like books everywhere, all your stuff, no organization, whatever. And but when you went into the back, he had a 15 by 10 table set up, usually set up for BattleTech, and we could do plus or minus 20 levels on any BattleTech map. And he would hand create most of the terrains when we go in to play for BattleTech, or we clear it off, play D&D or whatever else. That place was amazing. Unfortunately, it got shut down.
So
Mostly because of the massage parlor.
Growing up for me, I didn't start playing TTRPGs until I was in my mid-20s. And so growing up, I never went to a game store. Like, I went to, like department stores and whatever, but like had never seen a D20 in my life. So the first, I guess, real brick and mortar store that I went to is a local shop here in the town that I live in now called Jetpack Comics, which isn't a true game store completely. Like, it's primarily a comic book store, but like the back like third of the store is like TTRPG and Munchkin and Pathfinder and Fate books and stuff like that. So and then they do sell dice. They don't have a huge selection, but they sell some there. So most of the stuff that I've ever picked up has always been at conventions. And like Bees, the first place I ever played D&D publicly was at PAX East. I've never played at a game shop. So, yeah.
I've never actually played at a game shop either. I've been to a lot of game shops, but I've never played at one. I did play at a convention one time. I think last time I was on the stream, I shared a story about a guy named Neck Rubber. It was a real nightmare DM situation at one. But I've never played in a store, oddly enough. I don't know. I think that's a different experience that some people get when they don't really have like a place to play. But most of my time has actually been playing at home or in a friend's house. In fact, in the chat, Reflex Capacitor is actually the person that introduced me to D&D and to tabletop RPGs. And we on and off, but haven't ever really stopped. It's real fun.
All right, let's see. The next question, and I actually really like this one because I always learn about new stuff this way. Lore, I'm going to butcher this last part. Lore Kahan would like to know, what is the least known RPG you think well, I know you've played it. What do you think is the least known RPG you've ever played?
I'll say there is a game which we will be playing soon. That is called it's the 2400 system by Jason Tocci, Tocci. You can find it on itch.io. It's an awesome system. He lets people openly hack it and make new versions of it. But it's a wonderful system. It comes with like a variety of settings to it. It uses the same set of polyhedrals that like D&D does, but that's a blast. But not a lot of people seem to know about it, and I don't know why, because it's a real good time.
So the one that I know I've played, but has actually come up on the stream before, is a game called The End. And it's a post-apocalyptic. The rapture has happened, so everybody's been hoovered up into heavens and everything else. And you are now having to stay behind. And what I loved about the game and what drew me in was the very last line of the back cover, which said, "The meek shall inherit the earth, the poor bastards." And because you're now living on Earth with no gods, no deities, and nature is pissed. So nature is reclaiming the Earth at a faster rate. And what I loved about it, it was a very RP heavy, because they made guns do what guns do, which is, kill. So your average character would have I think it was 7 or 10 hit points. And a shotgun does 12 points of damage, because when you hit somebody with a shotgun, it makes a big hole. And so the whole point of the game was actually to avoid combat and to try to survive in this wasteland now that everybody's been... Which is pretty cool.
That sounds cool.
Does sound cool.
With the qualifier that I've played D&D, Mutants and Masterminds, and then the ones that I've created myself. So without going with the shameless plug for myself, I'm going to go Mutants and Masterminds. That's a really, really fun system.
So I'm gonna
If you guys could explain it, I got no idea how to explain it, but my fault, bro.
I am gonna go shameless plug. For people that are heavily involved in the Twitch community, they may have heard or realized, or if you've surfed around and listened to things. It's not a regular tabletop system. I didn't hear about this in all of my time of roleplay till about 2 years ago, but Grand Theft Auto 5 has a framework that was rewritten to make a product called 5M, which is absolutely free. You literally make a character and you live in a modern day setting, and you can be anything in the world that you want to be. You can be a criminal or a cop or a doctor or an EMT or a mass murdering psychopath or a 1%er MC or a Southside gang member or anything you want to be. And I started watching this stuff from a couple friends of mine, and it's become a burning passion of mine. And I've gotten into it, and I've been playing for about 2 years now, and it's so different and it's so cool. You can add, like, server owners can add different clothing and add different vehicles and add custom scripts for special heists and jobs, just like GTA Online, but like modified to like their flavor and taste. And you can tell your story, but there's no DMs. You literally sit in a massive server with your pet character, and you create this story yourself, and you interact with this massive island city. And it's completely unconventional for your typical tabletop RPG, but it's some of the coolest roleplay that I've been a part of in the last year and a half.
Jack, can you, like, are there limitations to this? If I wanted to be like, if I want to be a porcupine with the third psychic eye or something, could I do that? What are the constraints behind that?
In certain servers, man, you could do anything. You could play a superhero if you want. There are people that run around as like Batman.
Cool. This is a whole server of Batman. Everyone's Batman.
I was actually involved in an old server where like the cops were having this like horrible time trying to catch up with this like serial killer, and he was like a combination of like Rorschach versus the Riddler versus the Joker, and they couldn't catch this guy. The role player that was playing the serial killer was so good that he totally stumped the cops, and he kept claiming victim and victim and victim, and eventually a player randomly created Batman and put in a ticket on the forums and went, listen, this is what I want to do. This is the stuff that I need. Can we do this? And the developers for the server went, yeah, we could do that. What do you want to do? And he's like, I want to help the cops catch this dude. And they did. So we had Batman running around the server till we caught this like supervillain, and then he faded back into anonymity again. It was pretty cool.
Awesome.
For me, I don't know what's hip with the youths and popular with the cool kids out there. So I don't know what exactly is known by all. So I'll say probably just ones that I think may not be as popular as they should be. Would be, of course, Aether and Steamworks. And another one that I really enjoy is 10 Candles.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah, I actually, I'm good friends with the creator of it, and man, fucking great game.
What's the elevator pitch on?
Oh, okay. 10 Candles, pretty much the world has gone dark. It's, something happened that just brought about the apocalypse. You are with a group of people, you're trying to figure out what it is, what's going on, and there really is no winning. It's just you survive as long as you can. And it is 100% just pure role play. And it is dark, and it will induce all the feels, and it is just so captivating. Like, my God. And people, I mean, it's not a forgiving system. So you do some dumb shit, you're dead. That's it. And one thing I love about it is that before you start the game, once you like figure out who your character is, like you create your character, you have to record a voicemail to whoever finds you. You record a voicemail like your last voicemail ever. And yeah,
That's
and then
juicy.
once the game ends, they just play the voicemails one after another after everyone dies. And my God, just talking about it, I'm getting goosebumps. And so good. The creator's name is Stephen Dewey. He actually, Shifty Ginger on Twitter. Just fucking amazing. And then one that I'll say that I don't think I would say is probably the least known, is The Price of Coal.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, yeah,
I've heard of it.
that's one that I played. Actually, it's out now. It's the latest series on the One Shot Network that I still don't understand how, but I was brought in to play with that ridiculously amazing cast, and let me tell you, it goes from 0 to 60 in no time. And it is another, like, it's historical events, so there is no beating it. What happened and is going to happen at the end of the game. It's just you get to breathe life into these people that were a part of this, and handle situations with the other people that you're playing with. And we hit some subjects. We hit some, like, it can get how, like, depending on how I guess far you're willing to like go in historical accuracy, it will hit some topics that will, I mean, just right there. And yeah, it's crazy. So that
Luna,
one just went on Kickstarter. So
Luna, are we able to get like a list of all of these games after the show? Can we put that somewhere for everyone to see? Because these are all sound really
we could
awesome.
definitely work on doing that.
Sick.
I can.
So, yeah,
what I'll do is when I work on editing this for the podcast, I go back and listen to the episode, so I'll pull a list together when that happens.
Okay. Yeah, I'm usually playing like fun and happy things and always joking around, but with those two games, the 10 Candles and Price of Coal, my God, I mean, I just embrace the inner just drama and RP just depth and flavor of it. And my God, I so good, so good.
I would have to say mine. One would be Aether and Steamworks also. Not enough people know it, and it's amazing and definitely worth checking out. The other one that I played one time was a system called, and I know I'm going to pronounce it wrong because it was written by a German author, but it's called Michtums, and basically you play as animals, like little tiny woodland creature type animals. I played a combat wombat, and there was somebody else in the party who was like a small owl with a busted wing so they couldn't fly. There was somebody else who was a squirrel named Karen. And yeah, it was that was a lot of fun. It was a unique system, but it was I mean, it was just neat. It was kind of a neat way to play, to get to play something a little different. We did a very non-scary, it was a spoopy Halloween special with it last year. And our job was to rescue a bunch of kids from a very scary neighborhood Halloween party. So, Yeah, it was really cute. That's a really fun one.
I would also be super remiss if I didn't mention a game that's not a traditional RPG that you play a singular character, but there is a kind of map building RPG game called The Quiet Year. Some people have heard of and some people have not.
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind about who wrote it, but it is definitely worth checking out. It's a great time.
Now, one that I'm sure that a lot of folks have heard of, I have met many people that have actually played it, but the old tabletop of Robotech. And that one right there was insane. The gameplay behind that, the worst one I ever played, though, was probably Starfleet Battles. And if you guys have never seen that one...
I've heard the name.
You have your own fleets, and... we had 3-inch 3-ring binders completely full of individual ship diagrams and character sheets and such. It was the most complex game I have ever seen. When you get into playing like D&D and that, you're like, oh, it took us 10 minutes to get through that combat round. Bitch, please. It was like 90 minutes to get through one combat round in Starfleet Battles. It was stupid. It was like, okay, we're going to play this very same battle for the next 6 weeks. Awesome.
Crunchy.
All right. Well, we are at a great time for us to pause for a break, so we're going to do that now. We still have a bunch of questions to get to after the break, so if we haven't answered your question yet, we will get to it as soon as we come back, but this gives everybody a chance to refill drinks and all of that stuff. Also, I just want to do a super quick shout out. If you haven't seen the messages popping up in the chat, we have 3 channel partners that I would like to shout out. Arcane Spectacles, Critical Hit Cookies, and Gemmed Firefly. So I would absolutely encourage you to check out all 3 of them. They have given me very generous discount codes. It's Luna 10 for Arcane Spectacles and Critical Hit Cookies, and Luna 15 for Gemmed Firefly, and those will give you a 10 or 15% discount at their shop when you check out. Arcane Spectacles, if you haven't seen their things before, they make really cool spell trackers, which are great for your spellcasters. I will hold up. I have a wooden one from their Kickstarter. So this is one of them. And then they also do a lot of other just really neat TTRPG accessories. Critical Hit Cookies, if you haven't tried them yet, you are missing out. She makes amazing cookies, and I highly recommend them to everybody. Wolfsplit, I know, will also vouch for her cookies as well. They're also great because they come individually packaged, so like you can take them for lunch at work and things like that. And then Gemmed Firefly, a lot of us know him on Twitter as Dungeon Glitch. That's his shop, and all kinds of very cool merch there. We also have merch here. Tales from the Tavern merch is already available. If you haven't gotten anything and you would like to, we have a Free the P sticker, a hashtag Free the P sticker. We have a You're on Mute sticker, because we all know how good I am at unmuting everybody. And then we also have, I believe, a mug that has just the sign. We also have a sticker that has just the sign on it. So you can check that out. !Merch. We'll get you a link to the merch store. So we're going to take a quick break. We will be back in just a few minutes, and we'll see you as soon as we do.
Damn it, Wolf.
And we're back.
I can't help it. I stepped in it and smeared it with my toes.
It's okay. I forgive you.
I swear to God, it was not like this on break.
We
were
saved the
talking
premium
about
content for you.
Pokemon, and
Why
they
you
saved all the good content
lying?
for you guys. Yeah. So we're back, obviously, and we're gonna dive right in with some of the questions that we had from before. So the next question that we have to start with actually comes from Vertrox Nightblood. Vertrox would like to know, what is an inside joke from a game you run or play in and the story behind it, unless no context makes it funnier?
Say one more time.
So, an inside joke from a game that you've run or play in and the story behind it, unless not telling the story behind it makes it funnier.
Oh god.
My current campaign, the Driftwood Company, has a very strange long running joke now of a man with the head of a horse. Just for I don't even remember how it started. I just don't. It's just like anytime they're like have a weird moment and there's like I say you see somebody down the road coming your way and they'll be like, it's a man with the head of a horse, and like they will all just really enjoy it. And I don't really know where it started. But that's just been the longest running thing for like 5 years now, and I don't know why.
I've got two. I play on another show with Jack, which hopefully will be spinning back up here shortly. And the character that I play in that one is pretty much a coward. And he has these really weird flashes of, I wouldn't say brilliance, that allow him to do really stupid things that usually work. But he ends up getting a rule set every game that we have played so far. Up to and including I am not allowed to any longer stab people in the ass. I am not allowed to yeet the nuclear reactor.
Yeah.
I am not allowed to use a bridge as a skateboard.
Yep.
And there was a couple of others. So yeah, there's that. But another game, long-running campaign, and a table that I used to play with all the time. One of the guys at the table was my trainer when I first joined a company I was going to work for. And as a joke, while we were in training one day, we had to go in, and you guys know the feel. You gather in the conference room. They turn off all the lights. You have to watch the HR video to make sure that everybody knows what they're doing, right? So knowing this is how it was going to be, we had the conference room totally packed up, and lights go out, and the first thing out of my mouth as everybody's quieting down is, "Oh, don't touch me there." So whenever we started playing in his campaigns from that point forward, I'm like, "Don't touch me there. Don't touch me there." Those are my two.
There
I don't really have any inside jokes. Mine are more meta. Like, I don't know why, but my DM, James McCoy, if anybody knows him on Twitter, he made my character, which my characters are always just me because it's the easiest way for me to play. But he had me find some lemongrass. It's a herb with medicinal properties depending on how it's ingested. And anytime I have a bad roll or make a dumb decision, we blame it on me smoking too much lemongrass. I don't know why, he would associate that with my character, but, that's kind of our meta running joke for the past year is I have a stoner druid that smokes too much.
You're playing Gandalf.
Radagast more
Yeah,
Radagast.
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 Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Radagast the brownout.
But he always smells good though. Apparently, even though I do dumb shit on it, like it's got a real sweet lemony scent. So I mean,
all right.
right.
It'd be cooler if you did.
Right. Oh, but he gave me like 4 pounds from this giant that we slayed, so I'm good. Like I've been trying to like sell it for money at the towns we go to, but apparently like it's frowned upon in most places we go to be openly smoking and trying to sell lemongrass. But I mean, I'm a product of my environment in real life and in the game. That's how I play. It's fun for me.
I can't think of one.
Bees
I mean,
again?
there's a bunch of like uh not like inside jokes, but like I think almost every one of my characters has had daddy issues. So from now on, it's either my dad is the villain or he's dead. So that's pretty much all my characters. And then the only one I didn't was extremely paranoid and was a I think he was an Earth Genasi, and he was just like just a trigger finger, like hair trigger wizard, and that was just a really fun campaign. It was like a one shot, and we were running around, and it was like the DM, I love him, poor Roy, I love him to death. He was like, "Oh, let me introduce this little goblin to give you guys some exposition," and he was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Goblin, woof, fireball, killed him." And he was like, "Why did you do that?" I was like, "You just threw a goblin at us. How am I supposed to react?" I freaked out. That's what happened. And he was like, "God damn it. All right." So then he was like, "Oh, here's a puzzle. You have to get across this floor, but there's a bunch of tiles there. And if you hit one, it explodes. And if you step on it in a certain way, it'll cause a chain reaction. You have to figure out a way to get across." And I was like, "Wait, so if I hit one, it'll blow up and blow the one up next to it?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I was just like, And they were like, "All right, how are we going to do this? Maybe we can jump. I don't know. That's kind of far." And I was like, "Fireball." And I just threw it in the middle, and he was like, Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, or it just blows it up, right?" And he was like, "All right, so you blow up the one in the middle, which blows up the ones next to it, which blows up the ones next to them, which blows up the ones next to them. So congratulations. After a solid 3 minutes of explosions, you have destroyed a quarter of this entire dungeon I tried to put you guys through. So thank you. There is now a massive there is now a massive cavern where these rooms were supposed to be." And I was like, "Huh. But the puzzle is destroyed though." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Yes. Yes."
That's what you call clearing the dungeon.
Yeah. Speed run, baby. Speed run. That's how we do it.
Again, don't talk to the XP. We're good.
There you go. Oh my gosh.
Can confirm the first time I ever see bees on a game, they were going through a dungeon. They came into a room where the room was centered around a large ball pit. So picture like a McDonald's.
That's what it was. It was the ball pit.
Ball
Thank you.
pit.
That's the one. Yes.
Okay. Because the look.
That's what it was.
Have you ever seen watching someone die on the inside? The
That's
look
what it
on the
was.
DM's face when Beast is just like, "I'm gonna shoot that one," and he goes, "You're gonna do what?"
Wait, what?
No,
It was a ball pit. It wasn't.
I will
tiles.
never
That's
forget
what
this
was.
because it
Yes.
was this. You know these are explosive, right? Yeah, I want them to explode. I didn't plan for this.
And like he had it all drawn out, and he was like, "All right, you're going here." And after I did that, he just erased it all and was like, "Well, it's done now." And I was like, "I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm so
man.
sorry."
So I play in a new current city with a large group of my friends, and we decided that we weren't going to be cops this time. We weren't going to, be on the law side. This goes back to the GTA RP that we're doing. We were going to be criminals again, and we resurrected an old MC, an old 1%er MC, right? So we're getting established in the city. We've got our cuts in. We've got our bikes. We're doing things. We've got a group of our friends slowly trickling in to come play with us, right? And we're teaching the newer players that are coming in to play with us how to do different crimes in the city. Oh, you could go rob a store, you could rob a bank, you could do bank trucks, you can, run Xanax runs or Vicodin runs, and you could clean dirty money, and you could do this, you could do that, all sorts of different criminal activities. And but the easiest one to start out with is to break into houses and rob houses. and we're hanging out with our one buddy Pinky, who asked us about 5 times within the span of 10 minutes what items you needed to rob a house. And I was like, it's simple, man. You just need some advanced lockpicks. And each one of us told him at least 3 or 4 times. So it became a meme. And whenever he jumps on radio and whenever he comes on, like, we're all hanging out, like, in the city one night, and we're all hanging out. There's, like, this big car show, and, like, me and my MC are sitting there flexing. We got our cuts on. We're standing by our bikes. We're hanging out. We're BSing with, like, some hoonigans, and, you know, we're talking about car races that are going to go on afterwards. And Pinky chimes in on the radio as he flies into the city and goes, yo, what up, what up, what up? And I'm like, yo, Pinky. And he's like, what's up, man? I'm like, yo, got any advanced lockpicks? And he's just like, I hate you guys so much.
Oh,
And like five minutes will pass by, and like the girl that plays my old lady, man, will chime in afterwards, or like my buddy Lucky will chime in afterwards and go, yo, Pinky, how do you break into houses, bro? Just to mess with them, just to throw right back at them. And it's like, it's been a long-standing running gag that like we'll never let die.
I am not currently playing in any games, but one of the ones that always comes to mind when this question comes up was a game that Jack was in. And all I have to say is 2 words. Water's haunted.
Water.
So a little bit of context. We were playing 2 characters, probably about as different as our characters could possibly be. Gunnar is a 7-foot-tall Norse barbarian cleric. Edabrix is a 3'4" halfling rogue ranger fighter, and the fighter only comes from hanging out with Gunnar for too long. And so their whole party is sitting at the tavern one day, and one of the other characters happens to be a spellcaster who, using prestidigitation, causes essentially a water elemental to appear in Gunnar's flagon of mead. And so there's a mead elemental now in his flagon of mead, and so he like freaks out. And of course, Edabrix is the only one who realizes that this is like a prank that is being done. Does she bother to tell him? Oh no, not at all. So this goes on between Gunnar, who is a cleric, and our other cleric in the party, and they eventually determine that because there is an elemental now in the mead, that must mean that because there's water in some of the mead, the water in the town must be haunted. And so they book it to this massive fountain that's in the middle of town, and they jump in, and they're like hacking and slashing at the water, and they're like, the water's haunted, everybody get away from the fountain. And it was just the most amazing thing ever.
You didn't tell them the best part.
I was saving it for you.
Oh. The best part. The other cleric has a fatherly figure priest that like is like the head priest of the city, that comes out and he looks at the other character and goes, gives him the "I'm so disappointed in you" look in speech, and like wags his finger at him and goes, I expected better from you. Like he looks at Gunnar and he's like, all right, Gunnar's a big dumb barbarian, like we kind of expected it, you know, from the Viking who doesn't know our ways, but we expected better from you. Not 2 minutes afterwards, the fountain actually turns into a water elemental.
My God.
It was really impressive. Yeah.
So we weren't wrong.
Oh yeah, that was a good time.
City's haunted.
That city was just a disaster.
Yes. I
For
don't know how the
anyone
hell that
familiar
city
with
survived.
Pathfinder First Edition, we were playing the Rise of the Rune Lords campaign, and the city is the town of Sandpoint, and yeah, that city is just like, it's screwed from the start.
Everything that could possibly go wrong with that damn city does go wrong, and like Luna and I and this ensemble of characters, we tried so hard to put as many bandages and patches on the city as we could, no matter how many times we tried to fix something. 5 other things went wrong, and eventually we were just like, meh,
Yeah.
eh.
We're gonna leave. Bye. Oh, that was such a fun game.
That was amazing. It was amazing.
Anybody else have any that they didn't get to share?
I got another one I could throw out there.
Okay.
So this goes back to Gunner again with the campaign with Luna, and we're all hanging out, we're having a good time, and we all go to bed. So all the characters are downstairs, and we're all drinking and having a good time. We go upstairs to the inn, the Rusty Dragon Inn, and we're settling in for the night, right? And same cleric that I was involved with the Waters Haunted issue wakes up screaming. Check Luna. Wakes up absolutely screaming, and the entire party comes bursting in, and this cleric is in bed next to my barbarian cleric, who is totally naked. And the entire party is looking between the two of us, trying to figure out what is going on. And in the most basic way my character can explain it, he just looks at the party and goes, he was having nightmares. He was drinking. He was too drunk, and I wanted to make sure he was okay. And I figured I'd stay with him for the night. I got uncomfortable in the chair, and I wanted to sleep. And I sleep in the nude because it's free. It's the way our ancestors slept. It's the way you should sleep, unbound, free to let the spirit roam and the body breathe and expel everything. And well, Davdefos started having nightmares, and he started tossing and turning. So I figured I would be a good companion and be a good friend, and I would cuddle up with him in bed, and naked man hugs.
Naked man hugs.
So, I gave him, he got up and he's terrified, and everybody's staring at the two of us, and Davdethos is still flipping out, completely lost his ish. And Gunnar just puts his arms around him, battle scarred, massive muscle bound Norse barbarian, just picks him up out of bed and throws his arms around and goes, there, my friend, I've got you. Skin to skin contact, naked Norseman. It's going to be okay, buddy. I've got you.
Oh,
no one will get to you. It's going to be okay.
Some people have to pay good money for that kind of thing.
And thus, hashtag naked man hugs was born.
Yeah, it was amazing. Oh, God. And for those of you listening on the podcast form, what you missed was me almost doing a spit take because I had just taken a sip of my drink. And I definitely had to clap my hand over my mouth so I didn't end up with fruit punch all over my microphone. So there you go.
Just get it on the camera. It's a new filter.
There you go.
There you go. We're fine.
Hey, Luna, chair test?
Chair test!
Chair test. Chair test.
Oh. All right, let's dive into another question. Let's see. So this one I can see there being a lot of conversation around. Another one from Lore Cahan. What is the most ineffective but fun group constellation you have ever played in?
What do you mean by constellation?
Group makeup.
Most fun but ineffective.
I have one. Wolves, I'm gonna go with the Aether and Steamworks one shot we played.
Was this the Amen that we played?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, it was a different one. Although that one was pretty ineffective too.
Were we ineffective though? I thought we were pretty effective eventually.
We got there after creating a giant tree of pencils or something that shot out and punctured a hole in our space station.
I mean, Okay, first of all, the group composition was great. What was not great is that our group didn't remain composited. Because we did decide to go 4 different ways with 4 characters. Never a good idea. And then, I mean...
Oh, but it was...
It happened. We lived, mostly.
We mostly
Well,
lived.
no. Not
Except
all
for
of us.
one of us.
No, 2 of us. Yeah, it was a bad group composition there.
Yeah, so that was me, Wolf's Blood, one of the moderators in chat, Apache1222. Ty was DMing it. No, Rob was DMing it.
Rob DM'd.
Yeah, Rob DM'd. Ty was... Did Ty play, or was he just in the background? I can't remember.
He was the voice of God.
Right, he was the voice of God.
Yep.
That was a... Yeah. Oh my god. That was priceless.
I really have to say, I've been both cursed and blessed with players that really keep, like, they pursue rich ideas, but like they always have like good party composition in mind as well. So like even if there's one person that didn't care too much about like what the rest of the party's doing, people that I play with tend to really have like a team aspect in mind. So I can't bring up a good example of one that was the least effective because they've all honestly been pretty darn good, which really pushes me to the brink.
My least effective is my most favorite people I've ever played with, but if you actually like care about playing the actual game, the love and the frustration are almost equal. My 9-year-old nephew and my 4-year-old daughter, I really love playing with them, and they really love playing D&D with me. But yeah, it's really ineffective playing with a 9 and a 4-year-old.
That is amazing.
The imagination is limitless. The concentration has no beginning.
And the respect for the mechanics does not exist whatsoever.
What's a mechanic?
Right.
They're just automatically planeswalkers. And then you can just justify everything they do by that.
Bees, got any horror stories?
They're god tier at level 1.
Not necessarily a horror story. Just kind of we built a team. This is a game I played IRL. We built a team and we had one of the players was a cleric. Then I was a warlock, and then we had a fighter. And the fighter was just a brick shit house. Would just run through everything, just eat shit tons of damage, kill everything, while I'm just sitting here like, Eldritch Blast, Eldritch Blast, Eldritch Blast. And then the cleric would just run around and like hit something every once in a while, and then just be like, heal. Yeah. So it was just the rest of us, like both of us magic users were just kind of sitting back, playing rock, paper, scissors or playing cards, while the fighter was just running in and killing everything.
Do that again.
So it was all fun and games until we got to a gelatinous cube that was resistant to physical attacks.
Oh yeah.
And we're just like, oh, have fun, la 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 la, and then just ran in and flunk. Ah! And yeah. Another time that it all went tits up, I remember I wanted to change my character, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna, my warlock disappeared, so then I'm gonna bring in this paladin to help out and kick ass. So nobody in the party is ranged at this time. We're all just melee fighters. So we get in there, and I'm like, "Ha! I'm here to help you!" Ha 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 ha! And the DM sends in, I can't remember if it's a banshee or I can't remember exactly what it was, but she did a whale and automatically down 2 players, the cleric and myself. And so the fighter's just like, well, shit. And just ran in and started attacking. And, like, by the skin of her teeth, managed to kill it. And then was just like, all right, now I can bring back. Well, shit. It just had to drag us for the rest of the way.
God.
Yeah. So we were just sitting there, like, the cleric and I were like,
I did actually. This actually reminds me of a. I do actually have a bad composition, but it was by design. In my homebrew setting, Palasia, there's a city of dragons, and they like thousands of dragons ruled this city, and then it's full of dragonborn. And a long time ago, almost every dragon left, and each dragon had like their own horde of kobolds within the city. So in this ensuing chaos afterwards, when all these dragons are left and all these kobolds were left here, people started treating kobolds like somewhere between street urchins and rats. Like if you find one indoors, you're like, oh, get rid of it, and somebody like throw it out the window. Someone's choking on an apple in the street, and everyone's like, oh, that's sad, but kind of keeps going on their way. So I ran a one-shot set just after the dragons had all left, and I told everybody to make kobolds. Everybody, you're all going to pick whatever class you want. You're all like level 2, and you're all going to be kobolds. And the city was in a state of one dragon had been like, all right, we put an idol somewhere in the city, and only the best kobolds, like if the kobolds that find it, their clan is going to be taken care of by one of the remaining dragons, and kind of adopted in that way. So, jump to the end of this. The city is in flames. There are buildings destroyed. There are dead kobolds everywhere. It was an absolute nightmare. But the party was just so pathetic. I said, I want you to build the most pathetic character that you can. There was one who made a drunken monk who was making like trash can wine to get drunk out of. There was one of them who was a cleric, and he like had convinced himself that this god existed, but it didn't. My fiance played an eldritch knight that just believed that she could do magic because a dragon touched her once. And it was just, all of them were the most pathetic little wretched creatures. And they just kept getting into like the worst trouble. Like they found this idol eventually. And they're like, oh, we found it. And they're all tiny little kobolds, and it's like a 4-foot solid gold idol, and none of them can move it. And it was so sad. It's just these sad little creatures. That's definitely my worst party composition.
Mine goes back to that first comic shop, Time Zone Gaming, with the 20 people that showed up, and the one DM who maybe had DM'd a handful of times, and it was eventually whittled down, and a lot of people ended up not coming back. A lot of players kind of lost their taste and it wasn't what they were looking for. The DM even ended up bailing. So I got roped into DMing for the store, and the store would compensate me in random products depending on how long I'd run the game for, because people were paying to play. To start out anyway. So we had 3 or 4 like experienced players. 3 or 4 experienced players who would knew the game and made serious characters and did the thing. And we had 2 or 3 players, including a bunch of college kids who had never played D&D before, and 2 of them were these very nice, very sweet girls who had never touched an RPG before, who were very much into Lord of the Rings, who showed up in cosplay every week to play, and they were very pretty. And the big problem is that we'd start playing, and half the time, the guys were very shy and wouldn't want to talk to the girls, and the girls had no idea what they were doing because they'd never played before. And it's like they refused to read the book or check the rules or figure out if they could do was possible. And it turned into this massive clusterfuck of this group that was just like ragtag, not sure what they were doing, and they just kind of stumbled their way through. And the worst part is like I had decided that we were gonna do these like the modules for D&D back in the day, and I had gotten an adaptation of Temple of Elemental Evil. For any of you who remember the module, and yeah, I killed the party like 3 or 4 times in the span of 2 weeks, and it was bad. Yeah.
Wow.
Never again. Never ever again.
You're gonna learn today.
No. It wasn't worth the pay. Not at all.
I don't blame you.
Oh, goodness. All right, let's see. I think we have time. We can squeeze in one more question for tonight. Okay, this is a really, really quick one. Lord Richter would like to know how many of you have or had the OG Crown Royal bag as a dice bag?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, had a couple of them.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. My friend, that Reflex Capacitor in chat, he has like 30 of them. He lives and dies by them, but I have never had one.
I showed up to my first couple serious game sessions, and like 2 or 3 like the OGs that were playing at the table forever and a day actually had them. And I actually asked one of the guys, because I wasn't even 21 yet, when we do like food or liquor runs before, I purposely saved up money so that they would buy me a bottle of Crown Royal with the bag so I could have the bag for my dice. That was an interesting night, by the way, drinking a bottle of Crown by myself.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Never again!
All right. Well, we are going to have to start wrapping it up because we are about at that time. So we're going to do 2 things as everybody starts to remind us of where we can find you online and all of that good stuff. I'm also going to throw out a question that you can answer along with it that we didn't have time to get to during the regular stream. So, tell us a little about who you are and where we can find you online, and your favorite game to play with dice that is not a TTRPG.
Ooh.
So we're going to go in the reverse order of when we went before. So Matt, no, I'm sorry, not Matt. I'm looking at the wrong screen. Wolves, we're going to start with you.
No, you said Matt, so...
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. We'll start right in the middle with Matt.
All right. We're gonna start with the favorite first. Okay. My name's Matt. You can find me on Twitter at Dungeon Matter. I write and make TTRPG and 5e D&D content in a week, less than a week now, on 9/18. I am launching a new class called the Siphoner. It is a tough anti-magic spellcaster for 5th edition D&D. It fits in great in any party composition. You can absorb other people's magic and spell slots, and some Siphoners can even restore those spell slots to their allies. It's definitely worth checking out when it drops. That'll be on DM's Guild, and I will blast that on Twitter the second that comes out. I'm also writing a TTRPG hack of Jason Tauchi's 2400 system called the Crashlands, which I will be playing with Luna and Bees and a couple of other guests here on Luna's stream in the near future. We will release that date eventually, but that's going to be a great time. That's a sci-fantasy western chaotic game and it's going to just absolutely be a blast. Outside of that, I also have a Ko-Fi shop where I have pay what you want new familiars for 5th edition D&D. You can take a look on there. The link is on my Twitter bio. Help yourself to them. If you throw anything out there, I appreciate it. But they are really just for everyone to enjoy. You can find such cuties as the Pocket Golem, the House Slime, and a new little kind of living 2-dimensional tattoo familiar called the Inkling. Those are all really, really, really fun. The question about... Oh my gosh, I forgot the question by now. What is it?
Your favorite game to play using dice that is not a TTRPG.
Oh, I knew it had to do with dice, and I was going to say a really inappropriate answer otherwise, so I'm glad you restated it. My favorite game to play with dice that is not a TTRPG is definitely Liar's Dice. I really like it's old game. You can find those rules online. You see it in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies as well, but you can really like bluff each other out with that. That's a good time. That's it for me.
All right. So for real, now we're gonna go to Wolfie.
Oh, okay. I guess we can do that then. I am Wolfsblood 2012 or 2012's Wolfsblood, depending on where you are going to find me at. Usually I'm around here hanging out with GamerMomLuna on her channel here on Twitch or in her Discord. Aside from that, I am going to be putting out a podcast later on this year, which is going to be an Aether and Steamworks campaign with, I think, a little bit of a Spelljammer twist to it, just because that sounds like fun. And I honestly... when you asked the question about what dice game would I play without a TTRPG, I had no answer, but then Mara answered for me, so it does have to be couples dice.
That's fair. You can definitely use that one.
All right.
Spicy.
Oh, goodness. All right. Tommy.
Right on. Tommy from Math Productions, Math himself. My favorite game with dice is not a TTRPG. I love original wargaming. I'm a big-time wargamer. So Rise and Decline of the Third Reich, that is hands down probably my favorite board game to play with dice. It's real similar to like Axis and Allies, but I like 3R better. But so that's my answer there. What I do again is I make battle maps, digital battle maps. I paint miniatures. I have my own line of miniatures with a custom game that the miniatures go to. So you can pair my maps, my minis, my modules with some of my clothes. I have battle map apparel. You can even wear the maps on your clothes in case you don't got your phone. If the phone dies, take your sweater off, throw it on the table, you're good to go. But you can find all that, mathproductions.com. I even spoke to my sculptor this morning, so I got a couple new sculpts coming on the way for the next module that we've been working on. So I appreciate everybody's time. Luna, thank you so much for having me on again, and it's been a blast.
Yeah, I'm so glad it worked out to have you come on and hang out tonight. It's been a lot of fun. So, let's see. We're gonna skip Matt because we already did Matt. So
I'll go again.
Cyclone Jack.
What's going on, guys? Cyclone Jack. You can find me on twitch.tv/CycloneJack or on Twitter at /CYKL0NE. I do all sorts of stuff like Mech Warrior and zombie games. You'll see Wolfsblood hanging out with me, shooting up zombies and bad guys, or just BSing with me, hanging out, doing some random drops. You see me a lot doing some GTA RP. We do a lot of fundraisers and a lot of work for veterans and stuff like that. It's a good time. It's one of those chill places where we welcome everybody in. Everybody's, told to just grab a drink, grab a cup of coffee, have a good time, kick your feet up, relax, listen to some stories, hang out, BS with us a little bit, and just forget the day's troubles and the day's woes, and have some fun and just laugh with us and BS, and become part of the family. It's what we're all about. We don't hype, we don't do all these extravagant things. It's a very simple stream with a lot of good friends and a lot of good people and just some basic gameplay.
Well, thanks for coming on and hanging out tonight. I'm glad we got to spend some time together. And
absolutely,
it's been super great.
And last but not least, my favorite game with dice to play that isn't a TTRPG would have to be Warhammer 40k. Old school Warhammer 40k player, back from like the early 90s. Yeah. There we go.
Nice. And finally, we'll head over to Bees.
Hello, Big B's here again. Um, we've had a good time today. Learned a lot of things about ourselves. The one thing you really want to think about, take to heart.
I got nothing.
Oh my god, is he frozen?
I
think he actually did freeze right at that moment.
No, I didn't. I just couldn't think
Oh,
Yeah!
That was good. Like, you didn't even blink or anything.
it was really good.
I have been frozen.
I'm Big B's. Again, variety streamer, TTRPG, bully, because I just force everybody to let me play and to be friends with me because I love people. Voice actor and overall crazy hype man. And I'm just gonna go through the week because that's the only real way to like remember things that are coming up. So Mondays you can catch me in the on my stream. You can catch me Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 12 to 2 p.m. EST, playing a variety of RPGs and having a blast and also raging. I'll do random like horror games at night during the week. Just depending on whenever I get time to. Those you'll find out either by following me on Twitter or by going and joining my Discord. Monday nights, I'm with the wonderful Ty Burris on RF Chaos doing the Ty and B's Power Hour. That's just a fantastic show where we sit around and make fun of humanity. So, yeah, good stuff. Tuesdays, I don't have anything, or Wednesdays. Thursdays, I'm working on a TTRPG right now. It is being recorded offline and then streamed later on and put in podcast. It is a group of retired adventurers that meet up every week to play bowling, to go bowling, and some stuff goes down, and it gets really interesting. It pretty much goes from 0 to 60 in just record time. And the name of the show is Critical Bowl, and I love that name. Amazing. I play an elderly tiefling bard named Lucius Sweetfeet McCullen, and man, fantastic character. Fun fact: he doesn't have a single attack spell. Didn't realize I would need one until I got into the game, and then I was like, "Well, shit." So yeah.
Incredible.
Fridays I don't have anything. Saturdays I'll be playing. I'm starting up actually next week. The Unremarkables, which is a masks game on RF Chaos. And I will be playing a really interesting character. His name is Ethan Edwards, and his superhero name is Seismic. And his power is that he manipulates the vibrations in whatever he touches. So, very interesting character concept. Can't wait to dig into that. Sundays I don't have anything. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Oh, because RF Chaos runs 3 weeks out of the month. They do have an off week. On that off week, I play on Thursday a Monster Hearts campaign ran by Sanctum Cosplays, and I play the Sasquatch skin. His name is Clay, and he's just the biggest, dumbest, just cuddly boy ever. But he does have a rage side to him, and it is interesting. Also, I will be playing in a fantastic. I'm super excited because I'm like going through my list, checking off all these different things I've ever wanted to do, and then the two things that I had left over was pirate and western. And I finally get to check western off because I'll be playing in that game with Luna and Matt, and I can't wait Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. Also, for anyone interested, feel free to hop all up inside my DMs. Because I am currently writing. I am majority of the way through. Hopefully, we'll be finishing in the next couple weeks here. But I am writing a Pokemon one shot using the Aether and Steamworks system, and I cannot wait to get people on and start running. Excuse me, that one shot, and it's gonna be so good. Mm,
So good.
wonderful. So if you like Pokemon, you like TTRPGs, hit me up, and I'll definitely get you in the list for groups to run that one shot. And I think that's it. I don't. I'm trying to think if there's. I don't want to. Oh, there. Um, on whatever podcast player you use, wherever podcasts are sold in your neighborhood, check out One Shot Network, The Price of Coal. That is it is the series that they're putting out now, the most recent one. They've already put out 2 episodes. The first one is us making characters. The second one is getting into the game, but starting it up. The next episode will be released either Monday or Tuesday, and that's when shit starts getting serious. And it is a historical tale about a mining town and how the government pretty much killed almost everybody in the town because they wanted rights. They wanted human liberties and rights, like health insurance and stuff. So it is just it's different from everything else I do, which is all fun and games and happiness. It's just really serious, but it's a story that people need to know about, and it's just such a good tale, and everybody I worked with was fantastic. So check that out, and I think that's everything. I can't think of anything else. Oh, the game. The non
Oh my
TTR.
God.
That's how my brain works. Seriously, I'm like, all right, I'm good. No, wait, there's something else. But wait, there's more. So the game that the non TTRPG game that uses dice, there's 2 of them. It is Risk and Munchkin,
Oh yeah, Munchkin's
So-
fun.
Yeah, Munchkin's cute.
and I think that's it now. I think,
Wait,
yeah.
wait.
For it?
No.
Give
Is
him
it
a
okay to
minute.
start wiping now? I mean,
He's
that's
gonna think
the
of something else after the
Yeah.
after the stream ends. So
Luna's gonna be like, "All right, guys, that's it. Have a great day," and it like go to hit in, and I'm like, I remember.
all right. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. I am GamerMomLuna. This has been Tales from the Tavern. We are back here. This is our full-time home because this is my channel. So, we get to do it. And I am super excited that everybody was here to hang out and all that good stuff. So thank you all so much for coming on and hanging out with me tonight and talking TTRPGs and all things awesome. I don't really have a whole lot of other streams to promote right now. I do usually also stream on Sunday mornings. I didn't today because I decided to go for a walk with friends instead, and I'm still really sorry, Wolf's Blood. But you can catch me here Sunday mornings for usually like a super chill stream. And then, as Matt and Bees has said, we're going to be running a one shot of the game that Matt has written. So we're going to be doing that in a few weeks. Date is still TBD, so be on the lookout for that. We'll post it all over like Twitter and Discord and everything like that. If you're not in my Discord, we have one, so you can join the Discord. There's a lot of really great, awesome, wonderful people in there. So please do come in and check it out and hang out and say hi and all that good stuff. !Discord if you need a link. I have a Patreon now, too, to help support Tales from the Tavern. So, you can join the Patreon for, I believe the lowest level is $3. I can't even remember at this point. It's either $1 or $3. So, it's not a lot. There are Discord benefits. Right now, I'm working on soliciting some input from the Patreon supporters on potential new emotes for the channel. So, that's really awesome. And I saw Ty in chat. I'm going to be reaching out to you for one of them because I love it and it goes along with the theme of the overlay. So please do check that out as well. What am I forgetting?
Dice.
Your game.
Oh yeah, my game, Farkle. If anybody's heard of that, it's Farkle. So we are going to go raid
Luna.
What?
Luna.
What?
Beast has one more thing.
I wasn't gonna say it. I did remember. All right, 2 seconds. Check out
wait.
Critical Bits on Twitter. They're doing a pro bending tournament. I'll be a part of it. Boom. That's it.
But wait, there's more.
Are you sure? Because I'm gonna
No,
hit
I'm
the
serious.
raid button.
That was it. No, that was it. That was it. I wasn't even gonna say it, but they made me say it. So, I love you guys. That's it.
For anyone that's interested, we're gonna hop over to B's channel and he's gonna promo some more stuff. We're just gonna kind of hang out.
Just from 10 to 12. I'll just promo a little bit, you know.
We're just gonna hang out and chill while Bees tells us all the things he's gonna be doing. It's cool. It's cool.
I
Billy
told
Mays
you
here.
I harass
By the
people.
way,
I'm
if
like,
you
let
want
me
to
be a part
hire
of
Bees,
stuff.
by the way, if you want to hire Bees to advertise your stuff, feel free to slide in his DMs.
Yep.
The one thing that I do
Okay.
want to say is that any of the questions that we did not get the chance to ask to get through tonight, I will post those on Twitter tomorrow. I will tag everybody that is in tonight's stream so that you can get the chance to answer them. There was about 2 that we didn't have time to get to. So I would absolutely like to give people the chance to offer their answers up for that. And if you're a part of the community and you would like to share your answers as well, please feel free to do that. You can look me up on Twitter at GamerMomLuna. For real, we're going to go raid somebody now. I think it only appropriate that we raid a nice, chill stream after this. And we're going to go say hi to my friends over at Turtles and Chill. If you don't know Turtles and Chill, you need to drop them a follow because it's literally a 24-hour Turtle Tank stream. And they play lo-fi music, and it is just super fun. And a really great community over there. So have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will be back again next Sunday night with a whole new group of guests for another episode of Tales from the Tavern. See you soon.
Unless Bees has more to talk about.
So now we're gonna raid in 2 hours after I finish. No.
Oh my god, this was a blast.
Wow.
Hey!